Okay, so today we'll be starting off from where we ended last day, which is copying a Revit parameter from one to into another. So till this step, what we did last time. Anyone has any doubts? If not, we will be proceeding from here. We won't be covering the same thing again. So that's why I just want to confirm that nobody has any doubts with this. Okay. Okay. So moving on. Yeah. So like coming back to this scenario, we have a single room one over here, with the number as one and the name of the room as room. So you can see over here we room, and as we extracted last time, say if we make this the name, it's working, and it's currently being written into the comments, which is also working. Yep. So if I go back to the room now, you can see. So this was a simple data copy that we did from one object to another last time. What we are going to do today is we are going to see how we can modify the data once we have like extracted it from Revit. Okay, so this step, let me minimize, not required. This step, all from onwards, we will be seeing how to do it. And so one of the challenges that was discussed last day was, what if we want to combine two strings together, like two separate parameters? So again, if we want to combine two separate parameters, the process will be similar to what we did last time. Like obtain select room, obtain parameter one, obtain parameter two, combine parameter, and then finally write parameter, combine parameter, write parameter. So of these three we have already covered in the last session, right? Sorry, this two and this one, right? So this we don't need to cover now. Let me delete this. So now we will be covering how do we obtain the second parameter and then how do we combine them. So obtaining another parameter is very simple. You have the object over here. Okay, you have the object over here. You can simply copy this. Just change it from names to number. Let's ignore this and run it till over here.
Uh,
Sorry.
Sir, please
Yeah,
start the recording, sir. Anna.
recording I think is taken care of by Sagar. Sagar will share it. Yeah. So you can see when we press run, I've done nothing. I've simply changed another parameter. So I'm getting both the information, both the name of the room and the number of the room. Okay. And now coming to what we can do once we have got this information. So we will be covering two things today. One is strings, which deals with the manipulation of text. Okay. By text, it's like the name of the room, which is the word. And then it maths, which deals with the manipulation of numbers. Okay. So you can see, sorry, this is scripts, strings. So there are options to generate, and one of the first one of them is to concat. Concat means simply addition, okay, or to combine. Okay, so if you can see here, concat multiple strings into a single string. So when you're working anytime in programming for strings, you can simply say is equivalent to a text. Okay, so it's a data type, so we refer to it as a string. Okay, so let's take the first one, and you can see this node appears. The first node on the strings generate, this is this one. So string.concat. So we can see it takes multiple strings as input. So, but here we can see only one input. What we can do over here is, this is a special type of node where if you click on the plus sign, the number of inputs will increase. So you can increase as many as you want, and if you want to reduce the number of inputs, you can reduce it with a negative sign. Okay. So once you have this, you simply connect, say, this node and this node. You can see it both
Your
turned
screen is
into.
not sharing. Hi,
Oh,
Saurav. We can't see your screen.
okay. Uh, you cannot see the screen. Strange one. So let me reshare. Sagar, can you see the screen?
No, I guess. Let me just check.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to share the screen. I don't know why.
Um,
Now I can. Yeah, yeah. Now I can. Yeah. No,
okay.
but I'm still not getting the option. Okay. Yeah. Now I think I can share it. Is the screen visible?
Yes, now it is visible.
Yeah. Okay. So stepping back a few parts. So what we were so till here was the screen visible when we obtained both the room number and the room name from the Revit element, or was this missed as well?
No, this till here we were able to see.
Okay. 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 So as you can see, we have
Sir, please
obtained.
switch on the sir, please switch on the recording.
Rohit, recording is being done already. We are recording every video. We know that you are messaging. We are recording each and every single video and we will be sharing it. Okay? Please have a patience.
So okay, so we have got two parameter information over here. One is the one which is the room number, and one is the room. So now what we are gonna do is we are gonna like modify the parameters and like do a number of processes and other perform other actions on them. Okay, so that is done mainly with two things. One is the string command which works with text. Another is the math command which works with numbers. Okay, and there are some overlap between the two as well. So if I go to string, go to generate, and go to concat. Concat simply means to combine two elements together. In this case, these are strings. So this you see is a special type of node which has multiple inputs possible. So if you click on this plus, the number of inputs will keep on increasing, and you can reduce it with the negative sign. So here we have two strings. So first of all, we will add the two strings. And now if we press run, wait, let me add a watch node. It is combining them in a list. Okay. But maybe we want to combine them together. Okay. Like not separately, together, like one with the other. Okay. So what we can do is we can take the add operator. So while we can use add to add numbers as well, we can use it to add strings together also. So if we do over here, sorry, I should have kept that. It would have been easy to explain. Yeah. So this is an array of two strings being combined. Okay. And this is also doing the same thing, but in a different way. Let me show you. Okay. So here you can see it's combining into a single string. So what if we want concat to combine things with into a single string? So let's go back to the string command. Sorry. So string from array. What is an array? I will be coming to shortly. So if we take this, added the input over here and run it, you can see I get the same room. Okay. So it takes the array and turns it into a string. Okay. Another method, if we don't want to do this when we are combining two strings together, Like I'm just showing multiple methods where you can combine two strings together. So here it's a similar command like the string concord, but we have a separator command over here. Okay, so let's again input the two strings. And so here it takes a separator that will be there between the two strings as an input. So we need to add that. So that will again be a simple string. Is the input here, string. Like we did last time, we took a string. And this separator can be any amount of text. So here I will use two dashes, like three dashes to be just to be clear. Okay. This is strange. Why is this not working? 1 second. Something. Okay. Mm, Once again, what did I do wrong? Oh God. Anyways, I seem to be something has changed. So what I was trying to show mainly over here was if we want to just let me clear this. So oftentimes we want to add a divider between the strings to get this. Say instead of getting over this like this, we wish to add a divider between the two, like something like this. Like add a dash or between two parameters when we are creating it. Okay, so this I created by stringing together a number of addition symbols, but ideally I should have been able to use the concat command. I don't know what went wrong right now. This I have to check and get back. Okay, so if I have three strings, yeah, sorry. Yeah. If I combine this, just let me check this once why this is not working as expected. And so here we are combining the strings together into a single string, which is this. And then we can write it again into a parameter, like what we were doing previously. So if we write this now, you can see the comments would have been updated with one dash room. Okay. So this is the first thing where we can combine more than one parameter into a single object and write it to a different parameter altogether. Okay. So any doubts till this part? Okay. If not, I'm assuming there are no questions. Okay. Are there any questions? Okay. Okay. Now moving on to the other portions of how we can manipulate strings as we go forward. So oftentimes we have situations where we may have a room called say written as living and dining room. Okay, dining room, like a big name. Okay, and the requirement comes that we want to like not use such a big text in the drawings. We want to use a smaller text for it. This is overlapping. Let me try something smaller. Say dining room. Yep. Okay, so we have something like say dining room over here, and the goal of it is say you have multiple rooms like this, which are written as say dining room, bedroom, and so on. And you have a scenario where your text, like the one I showed right now, is not fitting together properly. Okay, and you want to reduce the size of them and maybe abbreviate it as only room or something like that. Okay, so what can you do in such a situation? One is to of course select and replace the text of the room in everything, or what you can do is you can go into Dynamo, run this once, so you can see the information is coming as a living room and the dining room, and then you can go into the modify tab. So in the modify tab you will get replace. So you will get this command called replace, which simply allows us to replace a part of the string with something else. So if we put this over here, which is the name of the rooms, and we add what to search for. So again, let me just type in string. And let me just write what I want to replace with. So say I wanted to replace the word room with abbreviation of it, which is say RM dot, like just to get a short form of the room all throughout the project. Okay. So you can see that it has automatically abbreviated and changed that particular text, replaced my room text with the RM. And now I can simply plug it in to the value node over here. And instead of comments, I can say change the name itself and run it. So presently I have my rooms written as ROOM. When I run it, it automatically gets abbreviated into RM. So if you have a large project with, say, you want certain text that has been introduced in the room names that you do not want, okay, or you want to replace or remove altogether, that you can simply use the search and replace command to do it via the node for all of those elements. So if I have something like, say, living and dining, what the example, instead of say, I have living and dining. And this can be done for any kind of text in any kind of parameter. It's not only restricted to room names, as long as it's a string. Say I have something like living and dining and say electrical and ELC and mech room for electrical and mechanical room and mech room. So here I let me write the full thing. Yeah. So I have and. Yeah. But I don't want to use the text and within my room names since it makes the room number larger. So what I can simply do over here is I can ask it to get the text which is and replace it with the and symbol just to make my room name shorter. You can see it has automatically shortened the room name over here. Okay, so these are the two major what to say, the string operations that we do in the, let me go back to the strings tab. One is replacing existing strings with another string, maybe a abbreviation or a different symbol, or combining two strings together to create a new one. Okay, like we did at the first term of combining them. Another common use case which happens is changing the case. So sometimes it may be that there are different rooms in a project written in a different way. Like say these are all has been written in small. Okay, but I have a project requirements that all the room names needs to be in caps only. Okay, So if that is the situation, we can simply use this command over here to change the case of the rooms. So here we have the room names. Let me take this, and okay. So this will take a input as a bold. So if you can see over here whether to convert it to uppercase or to lowercase, that is determined by a Boolean input. Boolean input is nothing apart from a input of a true or false. So if you type in bool over here, you will see this basic input command come up, which gives you two options to select, which is true or false. We connect this, and this tells us that if we want to convert it to uppercase, we have to set it to true to convert it to uppercase, and false if we want to convert it to lowercase. So now it's false. So let's see what the output comes. So you can see the entire text has now turned into lower text, which was previously, at least the starting letters were caps. Now it has gone into lowercase. Now if we change the same to true and run it, you can see the entire thing has turned into true. So under normal circumstances in our drawings, it is standard practice to have all our text in uppercase only. So if I have a situation scenario where I have a Revit project file with multiple rooms which have been created by multiple people, and I'm not sure whether all of them are uppercase or lowercase, I can simply create this node and run it once to ensure that all the text in my project are set to uppercase. Okay, like I don't need to worry about my drafting standards anymore because I know they will automatically be set to the correct state. Okay. Any questions so far?
Hello, Saurabh.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
one request. Uh, whatever we are doing here. Let's
yeah,
say, for an example, small scripts we are generating here.
yeah.
If you can share with,
Sure,
yeah, these scripts with the members, then they will get experience of the scripts, and then they will build a confidence about it. Like, yes, we can do this.
sure, sure.
Okay.
We
Okay.
can do that. Yeah.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So now I will just cover a few more, like whatever we can do manipulations with the string. Okay. Uh, we don't like, I at least don't use them too often. Okay. But if you have any queries, like you would like to do this with a string, whether we can do it or not, like feel free to ask. So one of the other things that we can do with a string, such as say electrical mechanical room or living and dining room, is to split it into two. So we have this command under the modify, which is split. Okay. So you can see it takes a string as an input. Okay. And it specifies a separator. Separator is nothing but the text that will use it to split the room. So if I go back to again as an input, I will use the string command. Okay, and I will use this to split, which is the text, which is the and symbol in between. So once I've inserted this and I run this, you can see it has split it. Like there are two separate lists, living, dining, and mechanical are split into two things. Like no use case of this comes to my mind, to be frank, at the moment, right top of it. But just wanted to show you people that this is also possible. So like there are multiple actions possible with strings. Sorry, again I've gone into scripts. Okay, like I showed you to the upper. You can also change the case to a title case. Okay, like which is simply like the first letter of the text is caps and the rest is small. So sorry, we have to change this to, where did I do that? Yeah. So we have this string over here. Let's make it false so that it's small first. And then when we connect over here, you can see the first text has become, of every word has become caps. It was small in this case, but here the E and all are all in caps. Again, like we don't really have too much use case for this apart from like making sure our models are correct. We can also use this to like remove a number of texts from our files. So say we have a text such as, like I will show it with a separate text only instead of using the parameter. Say I have something like say bedroom. Okay, so you can see when I put it into the string dot remove node, it takes the string as an input, which is the bedroom, and then it takes a start index. So start index is every string in Revit has a number. Like this is B is in the 0 position, E is in the 1 position, D is in the 2nd position, R is in the 3rd position, so on and so forth. Okay. So if you want to like remove it, you have to tell specify from which numbered position you want to start removing. So I have to input a number over here, and then I have to specify how many numbers I have to remove. Okay. So start index. Say I want to remove everything after bed. Okay. So this is 3 letters. So here I have to put in 0. So in as I said, everything starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. So it will be 2. And I want to remove 4 text after it, right? Let me run it. Let me add a watch node. Okay, sorry. It will be 3 digits. Yeah. Yeah. So bed is the only text remaining. There were 3 indexes, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then the room. Okay. So here we can remove part of the rooms as we want. Like if we want, say, only to remove the middle 2, I can just say start from the 4, like remove just the 2 zeros, but and put 2 as a number, and it automatically changes. So this can be used to modify a string as we want, but again, not too much of a use case for this. Yeah. And you can also obtain a number of information about a string, like whether like it contains a particular text or not, and things like that. So I will be coming to that right now, but before that, we will be covering booleans. So any doubt till here, what we were covering, like mm, is it clear, or anybody has any doubts as far as string manipulation is concerned, or anybody wants to know whether they can do this with the string or that with the string, anything like that?
Clear to me as of now.
Okay. Okay. So now we see how we can modify the string, but it often occurs that we want to like ask the string questions and get information from it. For example, say I have 3 rooms. Let me add another room. Okay. So one of them is, say, it's a master bedroom, and another is say, just bedroom, and the third one is a living room. So like this is a small project, and we can easily see there are 2 bedrooms in the project, right? The master bedroom and the bedroom. But it may so happen that when you are doing a larger project with a huge number of rooms in it, it may not be that easy to filter this information out. Okay, when you are working in Dynamo. So what you can do over here is, let me just replicate this. name. Okay. So here we have the 3 room names, but it's very hard to determine. Like we can check it graphically, like visually over here, that there are 2 bedrooms and a living room. But how do we find it out, like programmatically? How does the computer know how many bedrooms there are? So if we have a list of rooms like this with many rooms, living room, dining room, toilets, and so on and so forth, what we can do is we can inspect the string and ask computer to check whether the string contains a particular word. So if I add this command, which is the contains command, and I added the string, and then I add the string to search for string. Okay. So if I put the first thing that I want to check whether there are any kitchens in my model. So if I type in kitchen, any rooms named kitchen in the model, you can see all of them are coming as false. Okay. So this is the result what is coming at the end of the after the search. Okay. So if it's there is nothing called kitchen in the model right now, so all of them is coming false. Now if I was supposed to have a room called kitchen, all of a sudden like this, say I add this over here and I call it say kitchen. Sorry. And now I run the same thing. Okay. So now you can see it's still coming false. It's coming false because the kitchen K is small in this case, and in the one that I have typed in, it's caps. Okay, so you can see there is this third option over here called ignore case, which is false by default. So this I can again change to true by selecting a bool, giving it a bool input. Bool is nothing but true and false as we discussed initially. So I take this input, set it to true, and put it over here. So now you can see the last one has turned true because now it is ignoring the case and it can detect that the kitchen text is over here. But the advantage of this is more like this is a perfect match, but says I have something like this, which contains the word bedroom in the middle or maybe in the start. So in that kind of a case, if we type in bedroom and run it, it will still detect it. Okay, because it is searching for the entire string for the particular text. Okay, but if we were supposed to do say a simple comparison like equals like that kind of a comparison, it would not have given us the same result. So for example, if we go back to string, so this is what the string contains is mostly used because it's the most versatile way to search for an object within a string. But we can also do a much more restricted search, such as we can do a starts with. So starts with simply does a checking whether the room name, like the string that I'm putting, starts with the particular thing. Okay. So if I start and put the string over here, Control C. If I put the text bedroom over here, it will only give us the strings which start with the word bedroom in them or are the completely only the text bedroom. So if I go over here and run it, you can see it's true for this, but all of the others have failed. Okay. So these are ways you can like inspect the string for the information that is there in order to understand what information is there in the model, like whether how many dining rooms are there and the what is the room that you're dealing with, whether it's a dining room or a toilet or something like that. Okay. Till now, if it's clear, I'm gonna introduce a concept of Boolean mask next. So before that, we need to be sure that concepts till now are clear. So anybody has any questions, we will take them. If not, we'll go ahead. Okay. So now if I go into the math, I can see math has something called functions, which are like your typical math functions, which will we come to, which are mainly the numbers. And then there are logics and or, and then there are the operators. which is similar to what we are doing, which allow us to compare things. Okay, so we have the equal to, which compares to numbers, lesser than, greater than, so on and so forth. Okay. Now, what is the use of this? Now we will do a practical use case with this, like we learned about strings, to create a script which we can actually use in when we are working on a file. Okay. So say we have, let me just create a simple solution over here. Say we have a number of rooms. Like we have a common corridor and we have rooms on either side of it. Okay. Let me make this smaller. Yeah. So we call this corridor. And these are all rooms, whatever they may be. And now we say we want to make, like for the comments of each of this room, we want to write in the department, like every room has a department, right? We want to write whether it's a normal room or whether it's a circulation space. Okay. And assume that we have such scenarios all over the project in multiple areas, right? Like rooms are there and then there are the corridors which are coming in between, right? So in multiple. So what I would normally need to go check is room or go to a schedule, filter out only the rooms which have the text corridor in them, and write the department as uh, circulation, right? Like something like this. But we can do the same thing with Dynamo instead of going through this manual process. Okay, and that's where the string tools come handy to us. So what I will do over here is go back to Dynamo. Okay, and I'm gonna just remove this and start writing a separate script. Okay, which is set parameter by room name parameter. So what we are going to do over here is we are first going to obtain the name of all the rooms in the model. So now you can see we have a huge lot of rooms, of which a few of them are only named corridor. Post which, what we are going to do is we are going to do a simple string contains search, which is this. Delete this. We are going to type in corridor, CORRIDOR, and run it. So this gives us a true false result, like what we saw last time, that it's true if whenever the name of the room is a corridor over here. But what is the use of this? Like, how do we practically use what we learned, like this ability of us to check whether a text exists within a string or not? So what we can do over here is we have now a list of trues and false, which is called a Boolean list. We can use this list to filter out the rooms. Okay. So that is what exactly we are gonna do right now. So we are gonna type in filter by ball mask, which is one of the most useful scripts out there. Like whenever you're selecting something from Revit and then you want to filter it out and select a subset of it. Like in this case, what we want to do, we want to select a subset of the rooms, which are the only the rooms which have the word corridor in them. So it takes two input. First is a list of items and then is a mask. So mask, it simply means a Boolean mask, which is a list of true and false. Like you can see, this is a Boolean mask. So first we plug this in. And for the list, we plug in our list of room names. We have to go, instead of room names, we will be plugging in the rooms themselves because we want to work with those rooms, right? So once we plug it in and run it, it will give us two separate lists. Okay, now we run it. So you can see one has only 3 rooms, which are the corridors, and the out is whatever doesn't match this. Okay. So what we can do from here, since we have two separate lists, okay, we can set the parameter of this like last time we did. So we have the two set parameter commands because we want to set different parameters to for the same parameter department name for the two sets of rooms. So now we go over here. Type in the parameter which is department in this case. We do the same over here. The only change happens is for the rooms which we know have the text corridor in them, we want to the value of the department to be circulation. Circulation, which we input as a value. And for the rooms which are not doesn't have the text circulation in them, we want to name them as say habitable room, habitable spaces, something like that. Okay. And so now we run it. Okay. So it has run. Now let's see what has happened in the model. So when I select the corridor, you can see the department has automatically changed into circulation for all of the corridors without me having to individually select each corridor either via schedule or normally to do it. And even if you see the rooms, they all have this parameter called habitable spaces. So what you can do is when you are working, like you need to fill in your room data. Okay, you can create complex like checks with the tools such as the string, like inspect the name of the string and set the parameter of it accordingly. So if I go one step more, say I have two things. Mm, say these are my rooms and they are like say what we were doing previously. Say it's bedroom 1 and bedroom 2 and so on. Okay, and I want to set the parameter of all the bedroom tools, say the ceiling finish to a particular type of ceiling, say gypsum finish. Okay, what I can do over here is I can replicate the end sim logic that we did over here. Okay, first take the thing. Instead of say string contains, in this case, we can say begins with. Okay, and we will get it from over here. Begins with. I can go and get it from over here. Again, going to inspect. Inspect is we check the string for different information. So we use starts with, put in the name of the string and put what we search for, which is again will be a string in this case. So here we have rooms which are called bedroom 1 and bedroom 2, but we both want them to be given the same ceiling finish, right? So we just type in bedroom. Okay, we do not type in the text the one after them because it doesn't matter. We want to get the bedrooms irrespective of whether it's bedroom 1 or bedroom 2. Okay, so I have it and I do a similar process. I again use the filter mask object which takes two things. One, a list of trues and false, which is this, and another, the list that we want to use this to filter. So again, which is just simply the list of the rooms. And it gives me two output as expected, one of which is in means those which match my search criteria. So these are the two rooms. And what I can do over here is I can simply copy this input this to in, and instead of department, we will be doing ceiling finishes. Finish. Yeah, ceiling finish, and say it's gypsum. Okay. We run it, and it has updated it for the two rooms. So you can see it has updated. So the thing is, as you keep on adding more elements, whatever you do, if I say I add a new room over here, which is called say bedroom, again, which I have forgotten to add the other information for, like what is the ceiling finish, floor finish, things like that. What we can do is, it say this is also called bedroom. Okay, bedroom say 5, just as an example. But we want all bedrooms to have the same ceiling finish. I simply need to run this script again, and the ceiling data of it will be automatically filled in. That it is a habitable space, the ceiling will be finished, ceiling will be gypsum, and so on and so forth. So this you can do for all the parameters and for all your rooms. You can like teach the Dynamo which parameter to assign to which, uh, like for each room, what will be the value of each one of these parameters based upon the name of the room. Okay, and in order to determine, you can use the string functions to filter out and get the perfect room to which to assign the parameter to. Yeah, so that's for string. And also one of the most important thing, as I mentioned, the Boolean filters which we are using, which is filtered by Boolean mask. Any questions still here? Okay. Okay. So I'm not gonna go into math functions today. Math functions is something we will be covering later. Okay. The plan was to cover math functions also today, but we are short on time today, so we won't be covering math functions. But math functions are similar to what we did for strings, but the only difference is we will be working with numbers. So we have checks like say greater than and smaller than. Greater, this we will be covering tomorrow, not today. So as far as strings are concerned, this is it. If you have any doubts, we will take them now. Like, or else, like, we will call it a day. Any function you want to see within the string command or anything like that? Yep.
Okay, just wanted to know, can we use Excel data directly to input instead of string?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. You can use Excel also. Like,
okay, so
so you can use Excel. So Excel is a different thing where you are just getting a list and matching a list and comparing and adding that data, right?
okay,
So
okay,
Excel also we will like, I will compare sorry, like do both numbers and Excels tomorrow together. Okay, but
okay, yeah.
this is a scenario where you don't have that information. Like say if you are creating
Mhm.
rooms every day, okay, you don't
Yeah,
have a list of rooms which you can extract, right? So this
yeah,
is for that kind of scenario. You say at the top level that no, I don't care what my bedroom, how many, what is the bedroom number, 5, 6, 7, or what is the hotel suite number, like suite 10 or suite 40. The only thing I care is if that it has the word hotel suite in it, it has to be this kind of ceiling, this kind of floor finish, and this kind of thing. Okay.
okay,
Like if I say it's a 3-bed service apartment, then this is the finish. I don't need to know whether it's service apartment number 20 or service apartment number 2. Okay.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, Excel we will be covering in tomorrow's session. Any doubts for today? If you have, you can ask. Or else, if nobody has any doubts, then I think we will call it a day. Any doubts or any questions or any what if, whether we can do this, whether we can find this or not, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I think uh, people needs to practice for some of the scripts so that they can get some of the doubts.
Oh, just can you share the image of this script what you have created?
Yeah, I will share the script itself. Not an issue.
Yeah, so
Let
that it will
me.
be easy for us.
The scripts are where the scripts. Yeah, I will put it in that WhatsApp group only. Okay, that
Yeah,
works.
please.
Yeah,
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 that
sure.
would be fine.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Tomorrow we'll be like covering the numbers which we missed today. Okay, for shortage of time, and then we'll be covering that Excel import and export as well.
Yeah,
Anyone
sure.
has any? Yeah. I think if nobody has any questions, then
Yeah, we can conclude. No issues.
yeah, yeah,
Perfect. Perfect.
yeah,
Thanks, Saurabh, for today's
yeah.
session.
Thanks,
It was
thanks.
great.
Yeah, thanks, Sagar.
Thank you. Thank you, Saurabh. Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you.
thanks.